Hey, hey, hey. Just coming off another Friday of preseason action, and before the game start here on Saturday, I just wanted to make this quick thing. Game I got coverage of yesterday was Vikings against the Jets, and I'm going to open this video up by saying big props to the Minnesota Vikings. They did a little bit of everything well in this game. Um, I really don't think Minnesota's going to be much this year, but they showed me quite a bit yesterday. They obviously forced turnovers. They had 3 defensive touchdowns, meaning that they now have 4 defensive touchdowns on the preseason through 2 games. 2 interceptions of Chad Pennington. Uh, both returned for touchdowns. Big ups to Chad Greenway, finally making that comeback. You can't help but feel bad for the guy after what he went through last year. They stopped the run fairly well. I know the Jets broke off a couple of runs here and there, but all in all, you saw the Williams brothers up in the middle doing their thing. They got after the passer. You saw them getting that rush off the edge, and rushing the passer is the thing Minnesota could not do last year, and that is why they had problems on defense, because they can stop the run and they have a quality secondary. Including players like Darren Sharper, who we saw make that big play yesterday. They just need a pass rush, and it looks like Ray Edwards or Brian Robinson, one of those guys is going to be the guy delivering that pressure. And they did quite a good job yesterday. So big ups to the Vikings defense. I liked what I saw from that. Offensively, Adrian Peterson was running up and down the field. Had that one big run that, really impressed me. I am still worried about him possibly getting injured or losing carries to Chester Taylor, but he's going to have a fun rookie season. All day, baby. All day. And, Tavares Jackson only had a couple throws, but so far he's impressing me. He hasn't had to do a lot so far this preseason, but he won't have to in any situation really, so long as the Vikings have the 1-2 punch of Chester Taylor and Adrian Peterson. So he understands that, and he's playing decently enough when he does get the opportunity to throw. Only 4 throws yesterday, but he didn't turn the ball over. He went out there and preserved a lead and played some conservative football. For the Jets, Pennington played very well outside of those 2 interceptions, but they were 2 big interceptions, so they got to get that worked out. You saw Mangini not happy with Pennington after that second interception. Neither throw was particularly good. I mean, you got to blame Chad for that. Shoot. The running game looked okay, given that they were up against the Vikings. Without Thomas Jones, it's so hard to say anything for sure. But yeah, if they don't get Thomas Jones back by the start of the season, things are looking bad because they open up against New England, and they need Thomas Jones for that game. On a positive note, they're looking at some pretty nice wide receiver depth, actually. They were waiting for a number 3 receiver to break out and have the team take note of somebody to play that slot, and it looks like Justin McCarron's might be locking that up. He had a nice run after the catch yesterday for a touchdown. Broke a couple tackles, I believe. So it's probably him, and then you got Chancey Stuckey and Brad Smith. It looks like they're going to have the wide receiver depth they need to once again make the playoffs one way or another this year. It wouldn't surprise me if they challenge New England. I don't think they're going to win the division. I still think New England's got that division, but they could challenge New England right up there at the top. Defensively for the Jets, it's hard to say because Minnesota was scoring so much defensively. I didn't see a ton of the Vikings offense, but, it looked to me like they were doing just all right. They let AP get away from them a couple times, but I predict a lot of defenses are going to be letting AP get away from them. So, not a great showing by the Jets. Obviously, they get blown out. A lot of foolish mistakes. The 3 defensive touchdowns ended up being the difference in the game. However, Kellen Clemens remains my offensive MVP of the preseason so far. He came in after Pennington got benched and Played fairly well once again, making for 2 very solid weeks of football from Kellen Clemens. Um, okay, so that's about it. Other 3 games I didn't get to watch. I've only seen highlights. Tennessee and New England. Vince Young looked kind of rusty out there. First preseason action of the year for him, of course. Did not look sharp. The Titans did manage to come back and win the game with a late field goal kick. I don't know how impressive they looked. It was in my opinion, kind of a dull game all around. I know I didn't see it, but from what I can understand, it was kind of there just wasn't much here. No Maroney, no Randy Moss for the New England side, so offensively they're not quite there yet. Stallworth did play a little bit. I don't know how much he did. I don't think he did that much, but he was playing, so that's a good sign. We all know his problems. Neither running back could really separate themselves on the Tennessee side of things. Still don't know if Chris Henry or Lendell White's going to start or who or what. So keep an eye on that. I actually have Lendell White on one of my fantasy teams, so I'm hoping against hope that he can pull it out. Atlanta, Buffalo, a couple of inept offenses here, 13-10 win for the Falcons. DJ Shockley got carted off the field, which might be a bigger deal than people think, because I think he would be the second option in the event of Joey Harrington struggling. Just a suspicion I have, because we don't know what he's capable of. You just never know, and I've heard some promising things about him. Sorry about that. Obviously Harrington I thought played pretty well until the interception, which is obviously something he cannot afford to do. He's got to feed the ball to Jarius Norwood, work done, and his running backs, and just try and play things safe. But Buffalo offense couldn't do much better. Marshawn Lynch got some playing time, looked okay. I'm still not totally sold on him quite yet. I know he's going to get plenty of opportunities to prove himself this year, but haven't seen much out of him quite yet. We'll see if he can be that 1,300-yard guy. Just another kind of a dullish game. Not much to say. Also, Philadelphia and Carolina. I saw highlights of this game. Very impressed by Donovan McNabb's first game since his injury in November. Threw some nice deep balls. Hit several different receivers. Very good play by the Eagles in general. They got great quarterback pressure, forced turnovers, got defensive touchdowns, pounded the ball inside the 5-yard line, I think twice, which is something that's very positive for the Eagles, since their rushing game has always been based around finesse ever since Deuce Staley left, and we saw the kind of things that Tony Hunt can be capable of, which is very promising for the Eagles, I'd say. Once again, the offense as a whole did an excellent job. McNabb stayed upright for the most part, had nice numbers. Defensively, we saw Jim Johnson, and he is the man for getting pressure on Jake, forcing fumbles, forcing poor throws that led to interceptions. Just a really nice showing by Philadelphia after a bit of a stinker last week. And I guess in the second half there wasn't much to see. I thought David Carr took a while to, catch on. I guess he's playing with backups, but, I think Carr could replace Delhomme sooner than later. I'm not going to make any guarantees, but I like Carr. I never really liked Delhomme. I think Carr could be something special in this offense. So that's the 4 games that were yesterday. Today we've got 9 games. I'll be making a video probably tomorrow morning or tonight talking about what I saw. I'm not sure what games I'm getting quite yet. I know I'm getting Seattle, Green Bay, but not sure about what else. So I'll see you guys then. Keep listening.